Welcome back, folks. It's a little dark out, but it's winter time, so that's going to be what it's going to be. We're going to be doing a little snow review of the grooved Goodyear Wrangler SR-A's. As you can see here, the Goodyear Wrangler SR-A is considered a highway all-season, which does not really bode well to its snow performance, obviously. But this is a tire that comes on a ton of OEM vehicles, a lot of Chevys with like the RST wheels, I call them, but just kind of your generic 18-inch wheel. But however, they do have pretty good siping if you'll look here at the tire. And they've got fairly big tread separation. Now, they actually changed the tread block slightly since mine came out. These are a little bit more open than mine are. You'll see that later in the video. But when I grooved mine, it actually turned them into about what these are from the factory, the new version of it. So interestingly enough, I've sort of just turned the tire into what Goodyear eventually made the tire from the factory. Kind of interesting. One of the reasons I think these may do okay in the snow is because they use the Goodyear wet track technology, and it is meant to obviously help on rainy roads and just wet roads. But I found that tires that are geared toward rainy, wet roads tend to do okay in the snow because that's obviously water, and it helps with the hard pack a little bit. You know, they have that type of rubber compound that can grip the slippery, hard pack snow. I don't expect these to be super good in deep snow, but we're going to get some real world data and find out whether or not they do well or not. The goal is going to be to remove all of these center lugs, and we're going to widen the spaces between the lugs a little bit. These are little support ribs. The reason these are here is because it makes the tire make less sound. However, as the tire wears, it then blocks your water and snow and anything else from evacuating in the tread blocks. It also reduces your, kind of pulling grip on the tread block. And it greatly reduces the effectiveness of the tire. So if you knock these out about halfway through the tire's life, you can really get yourself some traction back, which, as you can see, you kind of turn an all-season into an all-terrain, sort of, kind of. Now, obviously, you're not changing tire compounds. You're not adding any, rated performance to it, but you may or may not see some good snow performance increase. I wouldn't try this on a highway tire and expect it to be great in ice. But, you can maybe get a little extra life out of a tire. Coming to you from a pretty mild mid-January day here. It's like 40 degrees, which is unheard of in upstate New York. I've been collecting a bunch of footage. These tires have about 730 seconds on them. We'll measure a couple. I have a whole video where I grooved these. So there's actually an oddball tire on this too. We'll get into that during the video. But they're actually all about the same tread level, which is pretty good. That one's at about 630 seconds. So these are about half worn. We're gonna talk about what that means for the performance of it in the snow. I will say, however, I don't know if the parking lot I was in at this restaurant was just super slippery or if these tires are terrible, but I could not believe how little traction I had. It was strange because I had no traction braking, yet I didn't even brake free accelerating in two-wheel drive. Not that I was accelerating hard, but that was a little strange. So we will keep an eye on that and see. All right, let's see if we can get up the mall in two-wheel drive. I'm probably gonna regret this, but even though it's not that snowy, but we will see. Nah, we're good. Pull momentum there. Nice. This is the first part of we got a little bit of elevation here. There's some deer over there. We got a little bit of snow anyway. Two-wheel drive with the SRAs, baby. I'm gonna slow right down here just to see if we can get it to be annoyed. Oh, they might have just met their match. We are not going anywhere, folks. Four-wheel drive, let's go. Ooh. This is not going that well in four-wheel drive either. Oh, baby. There we go. My dog's going to be barking because he's a jerk. I'll try to change up the audio for you a little bit, but we're going down this nice snowy hill. I actually got decent enough stopping power. Not horrendous, but definitely not great. God knows we're not going at any rate of speed, so. But it's doable. Let's see what we got. We'll give her a good stab here. Yeah, there's plenty of traction there. Yeah, and this gets pretty lack of snowy, so this is fairly grippy. We'll take her easy. We'll watch you bumper and first there, just to be on the safe side since we got a car in front of us. Anyway, nothing really crazy there. A little bit of a little bit of traction control or ABS. There's the word I'm looking for. So the snow is a little bit grippier now, but it's still pretty slippery. So we'll see how these tires do. I'm sure it's going to be clear right outside my neighborhood. For whatever reason, this gets both windswept a lot, and they also just don't clear it as fast as the rest of the roads around here. But anyway, we're gonna hit the brakes. Yeah, see, that's a much more reasonable stopping distance deal than we were getting yesterday. Yesterday was friggin' sheer ice everywhere. It sucked a lot. This is like, feels like snow. So that's cool. So climbing up this big ass hill, that was definitely an issue. So can we stop down it? Yeah, we can stop pretty good. A lot of ABS, but you know, the truck comes to a stop quickly. And this is like hard pack, but it's dry hard pack. We lost a 10 degrees or so, or 12 degrees of temperature. And that makes a big difference. When you got that cold hard pack, sorry, that warm hard pack, that's where it gets ice. Just turns into straight ice. I should probably go a little slower down this. This is much barer, but I mean, we got a bunch of braking power. I can shift the whole center of gravity of the truck. No big deal there. I'll throw her in first just to see if we can engine brake our way down. And then I'll bump in second if I start sliding too bad in the rear end. But yeah, this is getting clear anyway. So still though, very, very comfortable amount of traction overall. I mean, you know, we're not stopping quickly, but we can definitely get in that ABS and get the thing to stop. So, or get out of the ABS and get it to stop. All right, Wrangler SR-A is down 10% grade. We've had an ice storm. It's a whole thing. But I might drop this camera if I actually start sliding bad, but it's fairly well cleared, so I don't think we're gonna have an issue. I'm going nice and slow. First gear, 10 mile an hour, giving ourselves room for air. Man, this camera's fogging up because it was cold in here, and now it's not cold in here. So sorry about that. Trying to make that a little bit better for you. Yeah, we're good, we're good, we're good. Pretty good traction, but not fantastic, so slow and steady wins the race. We got real windswept last night, and it got cold and everything froze. So we're gonna be going down our favorite wintry grade in this 05 Silverado. I probably should start slowing down now. A little bit of ABS deal. Nothing crazy. Hit this grippy spot. What the heck? My ABS light just came on. Unfriggin' believable. We'll diagnose that apparently. That's weird. Haven't had that issue in a long time. So now we might not have ABS. I don't know. Huh. Anyway. Alright, this is actually not too awful bad, so we're having no problems here. A little bit of sand on the road, which helps. See if we slip here. Nope, no problem at all. Can't tell if the ABS is working right now. The ABS is very much not working, so that's always fun, but not a huge deal. Let's just lock them up. Yeah, no ABS. Huh, that is strange. I don't know what happened there. I've had no issues with this thing for many, many months now. But we're good. We drive. We'll drive on the SRAs, going up the big hill. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of momentum, but I don't wanna go crazy with it because I really wanna test the tires. I somehow lost my dang ABS. Friggin' shocking, because it's been totally fine for a long time, but whatever. Anyway, oh, no issues at all. Let's slow down a little bit and see if we can make this problematic. Pretty good grip, actually. Yeah, it's actually great grip, surprisingly. Cool. I know I keep showing the same hill over and over again, but the reason I'm doing that is because this is a super steep grade, and I just think that it's such a good test of both the downhill braking and the uphill power that you can, you know, translate this into flat ground, curves, you know, all that kind of stuff, because this hill has a little bit of all of it. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, how does this translate to like a 40, 50, 60 mile an hour road? And I can tell you that I wish I filmed some of it, but the results really are very similar, right? You just kind of wind up with longer braking distances, obviously, but the stability is good, all things considered, and, you know, they do work fine. Now, I will say and I've said it before in the video, I'll say it again, that, these are by no means a DuraTrack or a Falcon Wild Peak or some tire that's much more geared toward this, right? Like, they're a compromise, and they're a pretty big compromise, but I guess I'm just trying to show that you can do it, and you can drive pretty darn safely and comfortably with these tires if you just take your time and have a little bit of skill. I'd like to add that I also have a very unique use case for this truck. If you watch the channel, I do have a second truck that has really good tires on it. So if it snows a ton, I can always take that. I also don't take this truck on long road trips, especially in the winter. So I'm not worried about that like sustained interstate trying to get somewhere driving through the snow. So if you're doing all those things, yeah, I mean, this is not the tire for you. This is for the guy who's bumming around town, has a short commute, maybe can't afford to put some stupid, crazy, fancy set of tires on their truck. And they're just trying to evaluate if they can run what they have safely and how they can optimize what they have. To boil it down really simple, I would say this tire has probably 50 to 75% the amount of traction in the snow that a DuraTrack or a Wild Peak or something like that has. That's as simple as I can put it. Just in any scenario, you've got about 50 to 75% traction. Climbing a hill in four-wheel drive, maybe a touch higher just because you can get the tires spinning and get them to clear. Going downhill braking, it's closer to that 50% mark or 75% mark. If you're just looking for a simple number, that's what it is. 2, but we'll probably need 4. It gets steep right up in here around this corner. Slipping a little bit. Keep some momentum. Second gear, and we're stuck. All right, so let's go into 4. And then what I want to do, let her clunk in. Oof. Okay, we are stuck right now in 4. Let's bump her back. It's hard when you're on the slope to get traction again. It's icy underneath this. Okay, let's break through there. Now we're gonna turn up here just to get an idea how this feels, nice and slow, so we can really test the traction. I'm gonna stop right on the nasty part of the hill. Oh, no problem at all. I'll let you guys see what that looks like here. It's so hard to see on camera, steepness of things. So we'll go to the bottom here. I'm just gonna point you guys straight out. But basically, yeah, this is hard to tell, but you don't have to take my word for it. We're at basically eye level with my tailpipes, which means this is about a 6 foot, 5-6 foot rise and not a lot of feet. So it's really steep and it's hard to tell. Maybe looking at this retaining wall, you'll be able to see better. All right, this retaining wall is at that level there. And then 5 foot up, we're actually above where that retaining wall is. So pretty steep, and it did okay. And then the other thing you always want to look at with snow tires, which these are not, but any tire I should say that you're trying to use in the snow, is how well does the snow itself grab to the tire. So you can see on these tires that there's relatively small patches of snow clumped onto them, but even that's pretty good in that it can grab better traction with the snow on snow contact than the rubber on snow. So you can see here we got like a little bit of snow here, a little bit on the sidewall. This tire's got a nice clump of snow all over it. So that can be an indicator. If you have a tire that consistently holds snow at slow speeds, you're gonna get a lot better braking traction and turning traction at slow speeds. So a couple things there. I guess what it comes down to for me is you've really got to ask yourself, how fast are you trying to drive in the snow? How comfortable are you driving in the snow? Are you going to be responsible and go slow enough that you're not going to be putting other cars or people at risk because your stopping distances are longer? All this kind of stuff, right? You have to really factor these things in if you're going to not run a kind of premium, more snow rated tire, something more designed for these conditions. So up here in upstate New York, it is just a, everyday occurrence practically in the wintertime where you need a good snow tire. If you live in the mid-south or something, that's where these type of tires could really come in handy because you're just not driving in the snow enough for it to matter. Those few days where it's a little bit icy or snowy, you can probably get away with something like this. All right, I think that'll end this one, guys. With all that being said, just make sure you're driving safe out there. Just because you own a big bad four-wheel drive pickup truck or a Subaru or whatever, snow is still slippery. Don't think you're God out there. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.